So at the end of their IB2 year, they will receive 2 diplomas. They will get their OSSD, Ontario Secondary School Diploma, and their IB diploma. You with me so far? So with the reporting, it gets a little tricky because we have to demonstrate that we're meeting the OSSD requirements as well as the IB requirements. So what we are currently doing, this may change, but in the diploma, what we are currently doing is reporting OSSD grades throughout the reporting period, and then at the end of IB1, the teachers will issue a level grade, which is an IB grade. IB grades are 1 through 7. OSSD grades, of course, are percentages, 1 through 100. And then, of course, in IB2, the feedback continues. In December, there is an interim grade that's issued, a level for the student. And of course, in March, the teachers will make a predicted grade on the reports. These predicted grades that teachers make for their students are also submitted to the IBO. Yeah, so they go forward. The IBO doesn't use the predicted grades in their assessment. They do the assessment separately and they affirm our predicted grade. So there's a feedback loop. We predict and then we get back information about the actual grades that happen. And there's this constant feedback about how accurate we are as a school in terms of our predictions. Finally, in July, the final transcripts are sent directly from the IBO to the universities that the students have applied to. So how do we do that? How do we convert levels to grades? So in an IB classroom, what is happening is teachers are giving assessment feedback in terms of levels. What I do in my class is on a rubric or an evaluation sheet that I give back for an assignment, I will have listed the IB level. So I'll have the IB criterion, so it's an IB course. I'll have the IB level, and then I'll have where they scored in terms of their OSSD level. So how do I do that? If I'm creating levels and generating levels as a teacher, you're a high level 4, level 5, etc. What I do is I use this chart. It's called the Table of Equivalence. All IB schools in Ontario use this table. And it basically allows the teacher to generate OSSD grades from the levels. There's some concern. This is kind of an overview of how the program, I mentioned we're in our 4th cohort in this year, in 2017. We'll be going through, there are 50 students enrolled. And I mentioned the course candidate. Course candidate refers to students who are not doing the diploma. They're doing 1 or more IB courses. Many of the students in the school are doing 6 IB courses, but they're not doing the core. And their courses don't really conform to the groupings that are required for the diploma. And you can see what's happened there, that the course candidate group has grown dramatically. It's now surpassed the diploma group. The percentage of students in grade 12 taking IB course continues to increase. And then I just want to address this piece at the bottom pertaining to students who are in an OSSD course. Are they getting better grades because it's easier than the IB kids in the IB course? This is a concern that students have. And because of the table of equivalence that I just showed you, it will compensate for the fact that in the HL courses in particular, yes, students are asked to go further and the pace is faster than the OSSD course, the equivalent, let's say grade 11 OSSD course. Yeah? But are the grades lower? Is it harder, so are the grades lower? Well, no, they're not. They're, in fact, if you look at the averages, the IB grades are consistently higher on average than the OSSD cohort. And the OSSD grades here include the IB students, the IB diploma students. I'm going to pass this, actually. I'm a little running short of time. There's a video. If you go onto our school website, under academics, IB diploma, there's IB in video. There's a link there, and there's links to students who have come back to the school and talked about their experience in university after having done the diploma. This is one boy, Cosmo Steyer, very articulate young man talking about, he's at University of Pennsylvania, came back after his first year and reflected on the diploma, mentioned the extended essay, they always do, mentioned the TOK, the critical thinking piece, and the fact that he felt fully prepared for the university level study that he was encountering. Just the other day, Mackenzie filmed a student who came back from Johns Hopkins. She's in her 3rd year. She was part of that first group. And she also, the same thing, reflected on the extended essay, reflected on the TOK critical thinking piece. And she talked about her aspirations to move forward and do, I think, a PhD in public policy. So that's her trajectory via Johns Hopkins. I'm going to move ahead now to talk about the university piece. As parents, of course, we're all concerned about what happens next. So students are in school, what's the next step? And how can we ensure success when they're there? This was a study done in 2015. It was published in the Canadian Journal of Education, whereby registrars in different Canadian universities were asked about the effectiveness of the IB diploma in terms of university preparation. And you can see that by far their response is that the IB curriculum is the best preparation from their vantage point. Andrew Arita is the Director of Admissions at UBC, and he makes the point repeatedly. Every time I hear him speak to students or to IB coordinators, he makes the point very emphatically that the objective here, what you need to think about as students, is not how to get into university. It's how to succeed once you're in university. So to develop the skills as a learner, as a scholar, that will allow you to be successful and fully engage with what you're going to be expected to do in university. Often there's this talk of, well, how's this going to pay off in terms of the university application piece? Of course it is a concern. You do not want students to be in any way penalized when they apply to university by doing the IB diploma. It's quite the opposite. There is the common conception that, well, it's really only the international universities that are interested in the diploma. That is certainly not the case. In UBC, for example, they will only look at the diploma transcript for predicted grades. They will not look at OSSD transcripts. They will expect, they want to see the IB transcripts. More and more in Ontario, universities are attending to student performance within the fact that they are a diploma student. So they are doing the full range of courses and that core piece, and the fact that they're very successful when they're in the university. U of T last year was the school in the world with the highest number of diploma students who entered in the first year. So it accepted the largest number of diploma candidates of any school in the world. The University of British Columbia is second. So this phenomenon is growing in Canada. There have been a number of studies done by the IBO pertaining to the university advantage, what I call the university advantage, and that is the notion that students, yes, once you can get to university, but once you're there, what happens? I know at U of T, the retention rate in first year is hovering around 70%. In some programs, it's hovering around 50%. Students begin the program, and for whatever reason, they don't maintain. They can't sustain. Some will move on because they realize they're in the wrong place, but a vast number of students just can't handle what they're encountering. So here's a large US study done, I believe it was 14,000 students who were tracked over a period of time. There's a reference here to retention rates in the first year, 98% for diploma students, 77% for the national cohort. Going over to then tracking the students through over 4 years, how many who start their university career actually finish in 4 years with a degree. And you can see they distinguish between public and private universities here. Remember, this is a US study. But in the private 4-year university, 84% of diploma students finish in 4 years versus 53% of the national cohort. All institutions, 79 versus 39% of students who finish in 4 years. And this is not a small study. This is an enormous study that was done between 2008 and 2014. So again, for students here, I just want to reiterate the fact that what we're doing as a school is trying to prepare you for the level of play, to use an athletic analogy, the level of play that you're going to encounter on the court when you're sitting in that first year bio class with 800 students. I have a daughter who's going to U of T, and she's in year 1 bio class with 1,500 students in a theater. Okay, so you keep up or not. So you must be prepared for the level of learning that's going to happen in the institution that you attend. Quick reference here to the Ivy Leagues, and this was an older study done in 2011, I believe, looking at IB acceptance rates versus the general rate of acceptance within these competitive schools. And in general, I can safely say it's approximately double for the IB diploma students versus students who are not IB diploma students. What happens next? I know you're still very young, and the idea of thinking ahead 2 years to university is a bit of a stretch. I know, speaking from my children's vantage point, if they're considering what's going on 2 days from the present, that's a significant achievement. But it is something that we as parents and also you as students have to contend with. You are on your way to the next stage in your learning journey, which is going to be university. But before you get there, you're going to have to make a decision at Ridley in terms of what kind of courses are you going to take. At Ridley, you can choose 3 options. You can choose to do an Ontario Secondary School Diploma with OSSD courses. That's one. You can choose to be a hybrid student, what we refer to as hybrid students, meaning that you can take a mix of OSSD courses and IB courses together. Or you can be a full IB diploma student. Okay, those are the options that you need to consider. And that process will unfold following the December break. Starting in January, you're going to be issued with course selection materials. In February, you're going to be meeting with your guidance counselor, and they're going to be going through the courses with you. They're going to talk to you about what your aspirations are. Have you thought about university, careers, etc.? That's already started in the guidance program at the school, but that conversation will continue. In April, there is a student orientation session. So if you are taking an IB diploma, in fact, if you're taking an IB course, all of the IB teachers are in this room, and you can come around and talk to them about the courses that they're offering, get some suggestions for summer reading, how to prepare best for the program, etc. And then, of course, in September, you're going to be gathering with the IB2 students for a welcome dinner to begin your journey in the IB diploma. I must touch upon, for the parents in the room, the fee structure for the program. There are fees associated with the external assessment, as well as our use of the IB diploma curriculum as an IB World School. And hence there is a fee associated, an additional fee associated with the full diploma course, which is $2,000 per year. But there is a tax receipt issued for half of the academic fee that you pay to the school. How can we do that? Well, the HL courses, I'll touch upon this. I mentioned that the students have to take 3 SL and 3 HL courses. The HL courses are considered to be equivalent to first-year university level courses. Therefore, we can issue tax receipts because university level courses tax receipts can be issued for. And I'm told by the accountants, I'm not certainly an accountant, that the net gain will certainly offset the $2,000 fee in that regard. So, what is your dream? Our objective at the school at Ridley College is to create as many open doors as possible for students when they finish at the school, so they can go in as many directions as possible, and their choice and their options are as great as possible. And it is my firm belief that the IB Diploma Program is again, certainly a wonderful way not only to open doors to options for university study, but to meet with success once you're there.